body bags where horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And this evening I'll be taking a look, having a bit of a run through of the 2017 movie Pyewacket. So this was actually released through, I think it was an IFC release. I don't have I watched it like online streaming service. I will actually pick up the Blu-ray at some point. So it's one that I'd heard of and just never got around to watching it. So I decided to, why not? I'll give it a go. And it was a really interesting one. It's one that I didn't actually know anything about. It's like I'd heard a few good things, not too much about it. Like no one really mentioned like that much about like what was going on or anything like that. So yeah, it's one that I kind of kept on the back burner sort of thing. So what we have with Pyewacket, we follow a teenage girl. She has these three friends, a female and two males. One male she has a bit of a crush on. So kind of around like 16-year-olds sort of thing. And she actually just had a tragedy. That her father had passed away, and the mother is really struggling to deal with it. She's kind of dealing with it with alcohol, and not dealing with it so well. She's kind of lashing out at the daughter and that sort of thing. So she actually decides like she can't handle it anymore, and she's getting a house and then moving like it's like an hour's drive from where they are. So obviously the girl, 16 years old, having a big crush on this guy, something's going to go with it, something's not, and she's crushed. So the mother was like, the deal is that she'll drive her. It's like a 2-hour journey, obviously, there and back sort of thing. But she's going to do that for her daughter. So yeah, that's what she decides to do, to help out. Another thing with this film is that the daughter is into like the occult sort of thing, so she's kind of very into that. There's this one part where she goes to meet this author of this book that her and her friends really like. It's like a signing at this library. It's about the occult sort of thing, about like black magic, all this sort of thing. But she has another book with her sort of thing, and like that the author makes a note of that. It's like it's pretty heavy stuff you're dabbling in, so like be careful with that. So we have that side thing going on. So they move out there. It's getting harder and harder. She's like really unhappy. It's like in the middle of nowhere. Her friends are like a long way away, obviously. So she only sees them at school and that. And she actually decides to cast this kind of like black magic spell over her mother, where she has to like can't remember exactly what it is. She like cuts herself, mixes it with milk, buries it, all this sort of stuff. She's following. She's doing this knocking on this tree, so it's to kind of bring forward this black spirit of Pyewacket sort of thing. And and from that point on, when she does this to call on this spirit, kind of something clicks with her mum, and it's like they start getting on better. But then there's just these few little bits and pieces that starts to happen. She hears this like rustling in the roof, tells her mum, and mum can't hear anything, so she's like, oh, what is this, what's going on? And she tells her friend. So her friend was like, well, I'll come and stay there with you, I'll come and like test it out. They don't hear anything, they don't see anything, go in the woods to see where she performs like this ritual. Doesn't see anything, nothing really happens. We'll wake up in the morning with her mum and they can't find her. So it's like, where's she gone? And they're looking for her, and the mum looking out the window, she's sat in the car, and this girl is like freaking out, completely freaking out. She's like screaming that she wants to go home and like try and move her, and she kind of I don't think for the rest of the film like she speaks to the girl again, like it's kind of like, what the hell happened? She doesn't say anything, she just wants to get out of there. But more and more things are happening. I'll go into Spoilers with this, by the way. I will spoil this film now, because kind of just how I'm going with like explaining this. Like sometimes I kind of very light on a film. This one I'm just going into it a little bit more in depth. I thought it might be quite nice. So yeah, like more and more things starts to happen. She finds out information. She wants to like reverse this. She gets the number of the author, and he's telling her like what to do to try and like change this. And he's like, this is really bad. What's happened? But she can't change it. And then the spirit of Pyewacket's there. Like the one day she's like, her mum's body is in the forest, and of course she freaks out. Like the mum is, she's in the forest. The mum comes and she's hearing her calling, but she's hiding from her. So she like runs into the forest and she sees the body of her mother. But then her mother is calling and acting like really weird. So and like, yeah, the mum is not the mum. It's like this the spirit of Pyewacket, and like she's kind of trying to get to her. She's escaping. She's like running away. There's a couple of really freaky scenes in this, like really really nicely done. This thing is kind of quite subtle, this whole film, and how it's done. But then there's a bit of a switcheroo, maybe. So she's like hiding, and the mum gets into her, but she's all different. It's like, is it the mum? Is it the spirit? Kind of, you're not sure. Like she's there with a knife, she's freaky, but she listens to the mum. And she takes the knife from her, and they're just talking about this. And she's like, look, it's all okay, you're going to be okay. And the daughter's there, just freaked out. And you're like, well, what's she doing? Do you believe her or not? Is this the spirit? Is this not? Or like, what's going on? Like I said, I'm going to spoil this heavily. So the girl, she's just not buying it. She's like, this is the spirit. Because she saw some freaky stuff earlier, what the spirit, and she heard the voice of the spirit and stuff like that. And then she's hiding, and she saw her mum's body in the forest. But you see a point where the mum starts to move and open her eyes, and you don't know. It's like, is this the spirit? Is this not the spirit? Is something happened to mum? Did she really die? Like, did she not die? What's going on? And so the girl goes outside. She like, when she escaped out of the house at one point, she broke this glass. She broke the window, so she has means to cut. So she cuts this hose. She siphons the fuel out the car and puts into this bucket. And then she goes to the room, and her mum wakes up and she's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Everything? What's wrong with you? She's like, what's that smell? And the daughter throws the petrol all over the mother and sets her alight. And it's a truly horrific scene on how it's filmed and kind of connotation of what you're watching. This film is not tranquil, but it's calm and collected all the way through. Even with the scenes of Pyewacket, it's like freaky, but it builds tension, and it's like the pace kind of, you can follow the pace of the film, and something snaps in that. Something snaps in the daughter, and it snaps in how you're watching the film, and it's truly shocking scene. It's like a fantastic scene, and you like mouth open watching. I was like, fuck, I was really not expecting that to happen. Like, it's completely like, whoa. And there's a point where before this she was trying to get the boyfriend to come, that supposedly the guy she had a crush on, but he couldn't get to her. He was like coming later. Then the spirit kind of did something with the phone to say, oh, I'm here. So she went there to the house, and he wasn't there. She checks the phone and the messages aren't there. So she realises that she's been duped, and that's when the whole thing with the Pyewacket, it's there, it sees her, it chases her through the house and stuff like that. And we got to this point of burning her mother, or the spirit, alive. It's a shocking scene. And then like he gets there, the house is on fire, finds her on the floor. And then you get to kind of the end of the film, and it's like she's in the police station, and the officer is like, she's obviously told him. You can see she's got all these burns on and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, from what you've told us, your mother's body was not in the woods. The only body we found, which you're assuming is your mother, is pretty much Ash, is in the house that was burnt alive. What's the story? And then you see this kind of moment on the daughter, and the first sign since the kind of when you properly see the Pyewacket thing of, you see the doubt on her face. And then how this film is, it's like, you don't know what happened with a friend. You don't know, because she freaked out. And you build it all together, and it's like, was the spirit there, or was this all in her head? Did the friend see something, or did she freak the friend out? Did she scare the hell out of her, which is why she screamed at the car to get away from her? It's like, did she scream at her to get away from her because she know that she kind of conjured this Pyewacket spirit up, or that she did something freaky and her friend was like, get the fuck away from me? And it's like, it's quite ambiguous how it finishes. It's like, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. It's one of these where you might ask the director and he's like, it could be either way. I was kind of trying to piece it and look at it. Very clearly it could go either way. Like with a message on the phone, it's like not really there. It's like, with the spirit doing that? What's she doing that with her head? Like with the mother, with like the changing of the mother's mood, it's like that she's having a breakdown, the kid, because she's not handling stuff, or was it the spirit? And it's a fantastic end to the film. It's a very slow burn film. You get the kind of the spirit bits that you do get are very few and far between, but very well done, very cleverly done. So it's kind of, you don't even notice that it's just her, because how she includes her friends in the situation and her mother, it's like you're just watching it and you assume that it's like, it's just as it is, that there is this spirit thing. But when you play it back and you can see her playing it back right at the end, it's like, is it in her head, or is it the spirit? So that's my review of the film. I really enjoyed it. It's very, very slow burn, but it's fantastic payoff. Highly recommend it. I'm hoping that you've watched this, that you've seen it, because I keep saying like dropping spoilers in there. Just totally gave the whole film away there. Kind of walked through it, very, very briefly walked through it, but I enjoyed Pyewacket. It's one that I would definitely be picking up, the IFC Blue. And yeah, we're getting ready for our Gene Roll-In week starting tomorrow. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I hope you really enjoy our theme week that's coming up. Brilliant. And catch you guys next week. Thank you. Bye bye.